One of the things Don and I used to always like to do is puzzles. In fact, we would go to the dollar store, and one of the things we always got at the dollar store is some puzzles. We got a lot of these SpongeBob puzzles, and all kinds of puzzles, actually. And she always wanted to get something funny to do. And one of the things I always made sure to do is whenever we put a puzzle together, she always got to put in the last piece, because she's got a tickle out of doing that. So no matter how many pieces of the puzzle I might put in there, she always got to put in the last piece. And as I was doing these puzzles, I was thinking of that passage that Paul talks about in 2 Timothy. And Paul's not many days or weeks away from being martyred for his faith. And a lot of us would probably be depressed if we were in that kind of situation. We'd be wondering what God's up to. Why is God doing this? Or we'd be moaning or groaning or something like that. But not Paul. Paul's actually looking forward to his death, in a sense. Chapter 4, verse 6, he says, "For I'm already being poured out as a drink offering. The time of my departure has come." I often think about going on a trip, and you're sitting there waiting in the airport for your plane to be ready to board. And finally they say, okay, boarding, and finally it's time to go. Paul's saying, it's time for me to go. He said, I'm already being poured out. That's the last thing you did when you're offering something. You poured out your drink offering. So I'm just about ready to go. And then he says this. He said, I've fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I've kept the faith. He says, I've finished what God called me to do. I finished the race that he set before me. Paul often talked about how the Christian life is a race, and we be all running a race. And he, at the end of his life there, he says, I finished what God called me to do. I finished the race. I'm ready to go. There's nothing I've not done that I know of that I'm supposed to do. And I would hope that when I get to the end of my life, whenever that might be, that along with the Apostle Paul, I could say, I finished the race. I finished what God has called me to do. I finished the task that he's given me. There's nothing left for me to do. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. And if you do that, then you can, with, I guess, you might want to call it a deal of expectancy, you're ready to go. It's like I got my bags packed, I got my ticket in hand, I'm ready to roll out of here. I'm ready to go to wherever God is going to take me. I think that's something that we can all focus on our race. How are we doing on our race? Are you ready to finish well? Do you want to finish well? Because there's something about putting the last piece of the puzzle in that puzzle and saying, it's done. There's something about finishing the puzzle. And I would like to say, when I got to the end of my life, I finished what God's called me to do. I've done everything. And that's something I think we should reflect on at this time.